and welcome to another video from Sandra at Sandra's Stampin' Craft Studio. Today we are holding another global Stampin' Up vlog hop where we are hopping around the world from one video to the next with various demonstrators. This is an offshoot of the global Stampin' Up Share Fair. Today we are all showcasing the beautiful Stampin' Up designer series papers. The reason for this is that next month, the whole of October, Stampin' Up will be having a designer series paper sale. Today I am using the Forever Greenery designer series papers. I will be sharing with you 3 different gift bags. I'm going to turn this one over. I need to make sure if there's a one-way design, it is upright, and you need to know which is the top and which is the bottom. So these are the backs of the papers, and then these are the fronts. I'm going to start by turning this over and placing tear and tape right along the very edge here, pressing as I go, and at the end it will do as it says, hold your nail against the tape and tear it. No need for scissors. So the first thing we're going to do is to make this into a cylinder. Just remove a little wing from there and crease that back, and then the same the other end. Make a little wing and hold that back. Okay, so we're going to make the cylinder. I'm right-handed, so I have to turn that round. So I'm just going to overlap that slightly wider than the width of the tape. And because the adhesive is exposed at the ends, I'm going to grip that end and then follow along and do the same this end. Just slightly wider than the width of the tape. When we have that in place, I will gently pull a piece of the tape and press that as I go. A little bit more and press as I go until I get to the end. By doing the wings, it actually holds both ends perfectly level and you don't get in a sticky mess. So now the seam, I want this is my top and this is my bottom. I want the seam to be at the back. So that will be roughly in the center at the back. So I will be folding up from the bottom of the bag, whatever width you like. I'm just doing about that sort of amount. It's about 1.5 inches, I would say, and I'm going to crease along that bottom edge with my bone folder. Okay, I'm not creasing beyond that point. We are making a gusset on the bottom of a bag, so I'm going to open this up and I'm going to squish the corners right into the corner so that the seam matches up with the seam along the bottom here. I'm going to crease that one and crease this one and do the same the other end. So put that into the corner, bring the seam down and crease both sides. Okay, next we're going to be overlapping these. Where the center is here, we want to go just over the center and then bone fold the edge, and then this one will come back and overlap again. Overlap by the width of the tape. So we'll put the tape along there first, and that will give you a good idea as to the width you want to go. So you're just going to overlap those edges. So with our tape in place on here, we'll remove the tape. And then we'll press that down to seal that joint. And I'm going to press on there really strongly with the bone folder. So now that is the gusset on the bottom of our bag. I'll put my hand inside the bag and I'm gently going to tease out the corners to make a gusseted bag, and the same this side, just into the corners and tease that out. There is the seam on the bottom of our bag, and there is the cylinder where the gift can go. So again, with the seam at the back, I am going to just press this down lightly at the top, very lightly, just where I'm going to crease over the top. So I'm going to make 2 folds on here. These can be as deep as you like. I make 2 creases. It's about 1/2 inch wide, and then another 1/2 inch as well. I'm creasing those because with several layers, creasing that with the bone folder. So there is the cylinder. And we can put inside, we can put our gift, very apt at the moment with the hand sanitizer, to pop that inside and crease those edges over. Our bag is finished. Okay, the seam is on the reverse, and we will punch 2 holes in here. Can you see how this is lined up on my grid paper? I have 15 squares across here, so I want to go a set distance in from the end. I will probably go 4 centimeters in from this end and make a dot, and 4 centimeters in from this end and make a dot. They want to be in the middle of those layers, in the middle of the crease. Now I have a crocodile here. Any standard office punch would work. This is a crocodile I've had for a number of years. So today I will be using the open weave ribbon, and I've cut the end to a slant. Now I will be poking that hole through the hole there, down one side, along the back, and through the front again. I like to make sure that the back looks nice and flat and even.
You know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we...
And then we will tie a nice bow on the front. I like to be quite generous with the ribbon and tie. So there's our bow tied at the top, and I've trimmed the ends of the open weave ribbon. Sometimes where the slant is, you'll find poking it through the hole and along and back through, it will fray slightly. So I like to neaten those up and make sure they're a similar length. For my next one, I'm going to be using the stripe. Because you will see through the back of the bag, I want this one to be one directional, so we want our leaves to be facing upright. With my designer series paper now cut to 6 inches by 12 inches, open out the side of my trimmer and we will score at 4 inches, 5.5, 9.5 and 11. Then we'll turn and just check which is the bottom of your bag. So the leaves want to go upwards, the bottom is this side, so I want to score this side of it at 1.5 inches. So the 1.5 is then the same as the side panels. So this is our 6 inch by 12 inch piece of designer series paper. I'm going to score all the edges with my bone folder. So here is the basis of my bag, and the first thing is to cut away this section in the corner here. If it helps, you can put a cross in that corner so you know which one it is. It's the smallest one. This is where the glue is going to go, the adhesive. So I'm going to snip that up as far as the score line. You might not see this on the camera. Designer series papers can be very difficult to see. In fact, I think this side is actually easier. You'll see the score lines along there. Find out which is your best side to be able to see. Some of the busier papers are hard on the eye. So I know that this is the corner that is coming out. It is the smallest end. We don't need that. Now each of these score lines is going to be cut perfectly straight along the fold up to that score line that is going across here.
We've grown strong together, you know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love.
So these are our box sides. These are our two flaps. Now we will taper these very, very slightly. Just take a small edge off these, taper them into the corner. So one of my pet phrases is taper the tab. So we're going to come slightly out. We don't need a lot. And then into the corner. And the same here. Slightly away from the edge. You see how that triangle, and we're aiming straight into the middle. So that triangle is what's coming away. And the other way of looking at it is you're making a flower pot. So it's tapered. It's looking a bit more like a flower pot.
All these years of inspiration and love.
Now we're ready to build our bag. But before we do that, I'm going to fold in the flaps so you can just see the panel of your bag. and we're going to mark the top where we want our handles to go. So again, I'll grab my pencil and I'll make a hole. All I've done here is made a piece of scrap card to the width of my bag front. I know this is a size I use a lot, so I mark it that is the top side, and it's the width of my bag, so I will draw around those circles like I've just done. And then the other side you want to do, again, the size of your panel, and we need to have them in the same position. So I've measured these in from both ends, so they should be the same width apart. Okay, much easier with a template. So now, while this is flat, we can punch out those holes. Now, I have got, because I'm only going through the single layer, I have got a retired punch here from Stampin' Up. Any hole punch would do. If you have a standard office punch, that would do just as well. You're just going to line that up and punch. There we go. So that's where our handles will be positioned. So now I'm going to place my adhesive on this part of the bag. I'm using Tombow this time. I do find it really quick and easy. And because all the layers match up, this, as long as it's straight at the top, you can just press that down there. Now, this is when you can check that I have partly closed up one of those holes. So I will do that way. And punch that again. So now we're going to the bottom of the bag, and we're going to apply adhesive onto these two flaps, and we will bring one half of the bag onto those layers there. And then this layer will be completely covered around the edges, and then that will fold over as well. Because I've used the wet adhesive, you've got a bit of wiggle room to make sure that they align nice and square. So I will put the lid on my Tombow, and I will press that down on the inside of my bag and make sure that that's nice and firmly stuck. Okay, and there is our bag. You can leave these edges square, or you can nip the edges in and bring them together. So I think I will nip them in together. So I'm just bringing those edges together like so, and then I will get some of the trim again. And there is our bow tied. Again, the frayed edge on the bottom there, I'll just trim that off. I'm now bringing in another sheet of 12-inch designer series paper, which I've cut down to 9 inches. So I'll just discard that piece for now. So here is my 9 inches by 12 inches. And I will get my trimmer. And we're going to do exactly the same. All of those lines burnished again with my bone folder, snipping out the corner here. This will come over here. This time I have put tape on the inside, which will hit this fold, but it won't hit this one. So I'll put another piece of tape on this edge. So I had one that I prepared earlier, which will hit the outside of the bag, and then this one on the inside. So the adhesive on the flaps, fold one in, make sure they're nice and square, and then on the flap here, all around the outside edge and in Make sure that that is nice and square as well. Okay, and there is the base of our bag. This time I'm going to show you the handle slightly differently, as in we'll have handles like a bag handle. So I will place a piece of, I've got 2 lengths of ribbon here, the woven ribbon, the same length, they're about 30 centimeters each. And I will apply some tear and tape to the bottom of that. Don't be tempted to use some of the Stampin' seal, because it will pull the threads. It's an open weave ribbon and it will pull the threads. We do need to have the tape on the same sides, both ends, and we want to be covering about 1 inch at the bottom. And I don't tear this one because it will pull those threads, as I've just said. So your ribbon will have tape on both ends. Okay, so by applying that on the back there, that will actually give us a little bit more weight to pop this through, fold it in half and pop that through to the inside. Once we're through the inside, I will remove the tape. There we go, with the adhesive removed, pull the handle through, and just about 1 inch you want to poke down on the inside of your bag and lay that flat like so. You can see that in there. So the tape will just lie on the bottom there, and the same the other end.
You can do most anything, so just do what you love. Live it, share it, you know it's what you're dreaming of. It's what you're dreaming of. What we love, what we do makes a difference in me and you. All these years of inspiration and love. Oh, how we live, what we say, it's stamping up and it's our way to love, live and share it today.
Here are the 3 gift bags I've shown you today. The first one with the gusset, made from a whole 12-inch sheet with a tube. And then the width of the 12-inch DSP for a half-size bag and a 9-inch deep bag. To finish off my bags, I'm going to make some very, very quick tags. So I've cut some strips to 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch and 1 inch. And I'm going to be using phrases from the Beautiful Autumn. So I'm going to use some of these in here. Really sorry for the bright lights in here, but you should be able to see, hopefully, the greetings that I've stamped with the garden green for this one and shaded spruce for the other 2. I've cut them at 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch and 1 inch so that they all fit in our Pick a Banner punch. Okay.
Started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together, you know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love. You can bet it doesn't matter where you go. You find a friend who does just what they love and lets it show. One card at a time can really change the way we live. Focused on the sharing and the chance we have to give. You can do most anything, so just do what you love.
To take some of the whiteness away from these, I've just got a piece of sponge and my ink pad, and I'm just going to take this round the bottom of the tags, just around the edges, just to soften that a little bit. Now we'll just mark a little pencil dot where we want to punch the ends out on here. So I'll put a pencil dot there. These ones I will just trim the ends there so they are parallel. And have a pencil dot in there. And the same here, I'll have those parallel. So they're parallel. Today, because I'm going to be using the gold cord that I showed you earlier from the Forever Greenery, I only need a tiny little hole. This is the 1/8 of an inch handheld punch, and it's still available in the annual catalogue. So here are the 3 gift bags that I've shared with you today. I hope you've enjoyed my video sharing with you some of the gift bags that I've been making for a number of years. If this is your first visit, then please click on the subscribe button below and ring the bell too if you'd like to be notified of future videos as I release them. Thank you for joining us on the global Stampin' Up! Vlog hop. Please click in the description below to see the next person to visit along your hop. Remember, for the month of October, that Stampin' Up! Will be having a designer series paper sale, so please be sure to check back with your regular demonstrator and take advantage of some savings. My contact details will all be on the screen at the end and in the description below. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you again here soon.
Built a family. We've grown strong together. You know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love.